Hey everybody, what's going on? Rob Cesternino, and we are back here to kick off Deal or No Deal Island. Dondi, they call it. Deal or No Deal Island season premiere recap. We are here on the Hit or Quit podcast where we cover reality TV's weirdest and wildest shows. And I'm back here with a woman who's seen it all. It's Jenny Autumn. Jenny, how are you?
I'm so good. I'm hype for Dondi. I think that the banker is about to call. I got a call coming in.
You
think
do?
There's a deal. Hold on. Oh,
hold on.
Yeah? I think it's the banker. Okay, banker. Oh, okay. Yep. I agree. Okay. Yep. Okay. All right. Goodbye. Yeah. So the banker.
What'd he say?
The banker. He said, "Listen. We brought some big players to this show.
Yeah.
And you're going to have to meet that energy on the recap podcast. And Rob, I don't know if you're going to take this poorly, but I think the banker doesn't think that you and I alone have the juice.
What?
He said, I brought Boston Rob. What are you bringing?
Oh,
and
we brought out the big guns. Okay.
So he's lucky that I thought ahead because we got a big player here and I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, we got a real gambler here to take on the banker. Let's welcome in to our coverage of Deal or No Deal Island. It's Chappell.
Hey, it's me. When does Dondi get here? Who's that guy?
Dondi.
Deal or No Deal Island.
That's our acronym.
Boy, that's wild. Dondi. Wow, it's right there in front of me.
Private Island.
That's what I put in my notes. We love an acronym.
I was like, is the banker's name Dondi? What did I miss?
Yeah. No. Yes. Yeah, Deal or No Deal Island. We're back
here.
We're ready to cover the super-sized premiere. We're pulling out all the stops here for the new hit show on NBC proper. Aired a 90-minute premiere of Deal or No Deal Island. Jenny and I got to watch the super tease that was on Peacock for the last couple of weeks. And we talked to one of the stars of Deal or No Deal Island, an old friend of mine. Boston Rob stopped by the podcast last week to help us get hype for Deal or No Deal Island. And now we're here to talk about full spoilers of episode 1 of the premiere. And so that's not all. We will also have Chappell is going on assignment to the banker's private island virtually to bring you exit interviews all season long.
Dondi. I feel like we should make that a war cry. Like, Dondi.
Dondi.
Dondi. Listen, yes, I think that, when Rob's away, Chappell will play. And I think that these people need somebody to talk to about this crazy show, the shenanigans, the mud. And I think I'm the guy. So yeah, if it pleases the court, you and Jenny, let me talk to people because I have some questions for everybody already. And I think the exit interviews might be the perfect time to do it.
Okay.
All right. I think that Chappell was just believed that doing the exit interviews meant that he would go on the banker's yacht, and he just live on the podcast found out that they were virtual. And so I actually think we got to keep them. Chappell, it'll be like a yacht, sort of.
Yeah, like I thought, like when he said on location, I was thinking, oh yeah, it's a party, it's a vacation. Like I got these like pink swim trunks that I've been dying to wear on television, and no one has seen them yet. And then he said virtually, and I'm trying to keep a brave face, Jenny, but that's not what I signed up for.
We'll have to find another opportunity for the swim trunks.
I'm here for the long haul, Jenny. Yeah, like regardless, I can wear the swim trunks in here. I just have to stand up, Mike Bloom style. You know, I can do it.
You wear costume. Yeah.
Prove you have legs.
You'll see them.
Well, we'll find out if this has legs, as we are going to get into talking about Deal or No Deal Island. Full spoilers coming in, but I do feel like that we will have a portion of this audience that watched Deal or No Deal Island, and then there will be a portion of our audience who did not watch Deal or No Deal Island and are waiting for us to tell them if they should and what the hell is Deal or No Deal Island. So I think that we should just do a real quick vibe check here of Deal or No Deal Island. And here's the explanation. The banker from Deal or No Deal has set up a banker's private island. He's invited Boston Rob Mariano, Claudia Jordan and a bunch of normies to go to his private island where they are going to be trying to play a social strategy game around a bunch of Deal or No Deal suitcases in various disgusting things on the island. Mud, whatever. Maybe some of them will be up in a tree. They have to recover the suitcases. Somebody is going to, at the end of each episode, have to play Deal or No Deal. And if they make a bad deal, they go home. And if they make a good deal, they get to pick who goes home. That's Deal or No Deal Island.
That's pretty much it. There's like challenges. It's kind of trader-esque in that the point of the challenges is to gather, well, I guess the gathering the briefcases that are going to be a part of that episode's Deal or No Deal game. And ultimately only one person is going to be winning the money that the group is kind of working towards. And then the people,
it's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money. Like depending on how some of these deals could end up being down the line, like could be some wild amounts of money.
$600K added to the prize pot in this episode. Chappell.
Just tonight, yeah.
8 seasons of The Traders it would take for $600K to get into the prize pot.
Yeah,
I was watching The Traders the other night, and they said like, "Oh, you lost $250 from the prize pot." Like on Wheel of Fortune, it's like, can I get an E? Same thing.
Yeah,
like, oh, that's $250 out of your prize pot.
Yeah, they actually want to give money away on this episode. I mean, on the show, it seems. And these people get to build this pot up to a lot. Now, I guess the difference is in The Traders, we know that there's a world where you can get a large amount of money and split it. You don't have to be the last one standing. But this is kind of giving like only the sole survivor will get the money. And so I don't know if it really matters if you get this thing up to, $2 million, $3 million, $4 million if you don't actually get to touch the money. So it was definitely an added effect to the show where I was thinking, dang, that's a lot of money in one episode. But at the same time, only one person's gonna get it. So I mean, to each their own.
Only one person's gonna get it. Yep.
And the thing is that there, like, it sounds like the final step is again another game, the ultimate game of Deal or No Deal. Like it's like the final boss version of the banker. I don't know what he's going to be doing when it gets to the end, but like you also still have to, I assume, make a good deal there. So like it's not even a guarantee that like all of the money that's been built up is going to be the final prize. So there's still gamble going on later.
Might just be in one suitcase at the end, and if you get that suitcase, you get the money. But you might also be making a deal for 5 cents.
Yeah. So that's interesting.
And hopefully 5 cents doesn't make it all the way to the end, but it could. It really could. We watched in this episode that we got a really good premiere episode. I won't say it was rigged, but I'm just saying you really want people coming out the gate knowing that there's a big prize pot that you could get. And so like I was on the edge of my seat. I'm not even lying. I was like, oh my God, what's gonna happen here? And then it got to the point where okay, the money is secure, someone's going home, but also that becomes one of many briefcases that you can choose from later on. So if that 50-cent briefcase makes it to that level and you get it, that could be the end of your game. We can actually see this with a extremely low prize money making it to the end.
Maybe. Chappell, do you care about Deal or No Deal, the show? Have you ever been a watcher of that?
This show gives me anxiety. I'm really bad with numbers. I'm awful with numbers. The moment you start telling me, I'm just like, just take the money. I don't know. And so I never know what's a good deal. I never know the odds of like what I should be doing. I'm always looking at the crowd like, take it? Yeah, no. And so this episode stressed me out. I typically stay away from things like this. But I think I'm gonna like this one. I think I'm gonna like the torture every week. Like what does that make me a masochist? I think that's what I'm looking for. Somebody inflict pain on me with this show.
I feel the exact same. Like some of these shows I watch, I'm like, oh, I would like to play this. I would not like to play this because I don't think that I would be good. I would be like, I am so indecisive. I am so reliant on feedback from others that I'm making a good decision. I suppose. And then I think what's interesting about how this works compared to, I guess, like normal Deal or No Deal, which I haven't watched in like over a decade, I would say. I definitely watched it a little bit when in
I
its
didn't know it was
heyday.
still on, but okay.
Is it actually still
I don't
on,
know.
like, for
I think it's on
realsies?
like a daytime version, right?
This is probably just like
Sam, find out. Find out. We're gonna fact check this. We're gonna get this
it's in
right on this
syndication,
podcast.
right? But anyway, what I think makes it interesting is that you've got the peanut gallery kind of like helping you, or like, giving their feedback on what they should do, or whether that's a good deal or not, or what briefcase to pick or whatever. The difference between the regular show and this group of people in this game is that, like, their vested interests are not all the same.
Mhm.
Like, do you do they might not even be rooting for you. Like, they might be like, I
Yeah.
would like to get some money in the
Oh,
pot, but
definitely not.
also,
Definitely not.
like,
Yeah.
so it's complicated, and then it's like there's so many layers of stress for everyone involved. Like, I love that the rest of the people sitting back watching the person playing the Deal or No Deal game, like, they don't even necessarily get to chill unless they're Kim Matina tonight. Like, they are sitting there like
Mhm.
essing their pants. Sorry, I don't know why I said essing. I should have just said the word. Somehow that was worse. But they're, pooping their pants, and because they're like, there's a situation where it's me tonight, and I'm just sitting here waiting to see what happens. And I felt like I was stressed watching it happen. Just, I don't know. I just felt like I was more invested in this game than I am in most challenges on other
Okay.
shows. Is that
Yeah.
a wild take? I don't know. Because in it,
Nah.
like, it's kind of boring when you think about it. You're just watching people open cases, but it got the blood pumping for me. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
dopamine hit every time they open the suitcase on Deal or No Deal. It's a
Right.
successful formula. I do not believe it is currently on the air, and I do believe that Howie Mandel has always been the host. I kind of in my mind, I thought that there was like a daytime syndicated version, but maybe I'm just getting this confused with Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and my
Mm.
bad for that. But yeah, I think that overall, I think we're saying thumbs up on Dondi, right?
Yeah. Pro Dondi for sure.
Much better than most of the stuff me and Jenny usually
Oh,
watch.
that's a treat.
Yeah. Yeah. For hit or quit, I think this is really good. I think that there is that social element that we talked about as well, where, if the person gets a good deal and they survive their encounter with the banker, they can just choose somebody to go home. And there's no vote, there's no strategizing at that point. They just look up into the crowd and say, hey, you go. And there's nothing you can do to stop them unless you have, like, the Kim Matina immunity in this episode.
Mhm.
So I think that's going to be interesting, because although I would probably want to sit there and let you pick your cases without any help, because I would feel so bad if I told you pick number 3 and you like number 3 and they're like, ooh, you lost $2,000,
You
$2,000
feel
billion
bad, but
dollars.
then if I go home, I'm gone. I guess it's like,
Right,
Yeah.
right,
you
exactly.
win some, you lose some.
But if I'm the one who made you lose all that money and you're like, hey, you told me to pick 3, you go home. It's like, wait, what?
Mhm.
No, not that.
You had to have
So
known. You
right,
knew
it's like,
what was in there.
even if you did it, somebody has to take the blame for this. It's going to be you. So I would be nervous to not help, but also nervous to help. It's very weird. And I like it. I do. I like it because it's different. We don't see a lot of stuff like this in the reality TV show we watch.
I
Okay.
love that they took like a game show and then like melded it with like a social strategy, concept, and made it its own thing.
Yep.
I will say, like, it's a unique concept, but it takes like, there, first of all,
Oh,
it's on a network. It's on a real network. It's not on streaming. And they, first of all, they got a big name, and they have a recognizable concept and branding that people know. People know Deal or No Deal. It is a thing. So I think that it's a kind of a genius concept in terms of getting buy-in. And I feel like after an hour and a half of it, I feel like so far so good. I'm very happy with how it's gone so far.
Jenny, if this takes off, are you ready for it's a copycat world out there? Who Wants to Be a Millionaire Manor?
Uh, if it's anything like
People,
MILF Manor,
yes.
sign me the hell up,
Yes.
baby.
No. Who Wants to Be a
Yeah,
Milfionaire
milfionaire.
Manor? Yes.
What is happening?
Eh, yeah. Yes. The answer is
What-
yes. And Chappell, the answer is yes. Say yes.
to me, say yes.
Just say
What-
yes to Say yes to the
say deal.
millionaire.
Say deal.
Say
Yeah,
deal.
deal. I'll
Take
take
the deal.
I'm taking
Take
the
the deal.
deal. I'll take
Yeah.
Chappelle, you
Yes.
should take the deal.
Okay.
Dundee.
Gandhi. Our coverage here of Deal or No Deal Island is going to be part of our Hit or Quit podcast feed. You can find that at robhasawebsite.com/hit or quit feed, and all of our podcast feeds at robhasawebsite.com/subscribe. We'll be bringing you coverage of all the episodes here of the Deal or No Deal Island. But I gotta make an offer to you
Oh my
too.
gosh. Rob, we
Okay.
just got here. We're getting offers already?
Yeah.
Right. The banker
thought that-
called?
Okay.
Oh no,
that's
not
him.
again.
Yeah. Hello?
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, I'll tell him. Okay. All right. Thanks. Okay.
Oh, that was quick.
All right. Quick one. But that was my agent.
Okay.
Must have not have been a big number. Like it wasn't a very long, like
Right.
I'm here for a good time. Maybe not a long time. Okay.
oh.
Gasp.
I'm here to watch my friend Boston Rob play on this show. Okay.
Uh-huh.
One of these people takes Boston Rob out. My rooting interest in the show suddenly dissipates.
Oh
Wow.
no.
So they take Rob out, they take Rob
Both
out.
Robs.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
It's a
That's a
package
2
deal.
for 1. That's a
Yeah.
2 for 1.
Now,
They
Jenny.
send Rob packing. That Jenny and Chappell, you have fun with Dondi, okay?
We're on an
Okay.
island.
Jenny,
Dondi.
listen, I think this is a good deal. We have to take it because based on episode 1, I don't think Boston Rob's going anywhere.
I think he's
anytime soon.
around
Do
for a
you?
while. I think he's got
Yeah.
this.
He did an interview with us. Come
Yes.
on. You
He
think
did an
that
interview with us. But Jenny, we watched the Super Tease that was on Peacock, and I saw instantly, here he goes back on his BS again. And we
How
only
long are you giving
saw-
him?
We only saw the first 20 minutes. And he started once frickin' Branson went back in the mud for the suitcase, and Rob starts in, hey, you see this guy? You believe this guy? This guy, you know, this guy.
Back to his old tricks.
I was like, here we go. That's it. That's
And
it. So I would
he's
be
on it.
very surprised if Rob doesn't make a real run at this thing.
yeah.
Mhm.
So I mean, Chappell and I think we have to take this deal because what if the alternative is nothing?
Next deal
like,
could be worse.
like
Yeah.
if the deal is like you quit in the middle of this podcast.
Yeah, then we
You're
go
just
back.
like,
to
I
normal
gotta go.
life. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, actually, we're not covering this at all.
Mhm.
Yeah. Jenny, I think we're good taking the deal here. I heard y'all's interview with Boston Rob. Y'all asked if he would ever do House of Villains. It didn't sound great. So
Mhm.
I think that this is our chance to talk about Boston Rob with the Rob that knows him best. Let's do it. We're
Okay.
all in until Rob is out. And then we're gonna let's keep hitting. Jenny, we're hitters.
Look, Chappell and we love to hit. And
Yeah.
Rob, I don't shame you for being a quitter if it comes down to it. It's very, very understandable.
Mhm.
But I think we gotta see what BR can do here.
All right,
Yeah.
let's see what happens. All right, so we're going to talk about everything from episode 1. Of course, Chappell, the host of Deal or No Deal. I don't know if you knew this. Joe Manganiello, somebody that you and I watched on our Nothing But Netflix podcast. Do you remember?
We've watched him, I believe, in his bromance that he had with the great Pee Wee Herman, right? And
Pee Wee's Big Holiday. Joe
Oh.
Manganiello,
Yeah.
star of and really the it was it seemed like it was platonic, but maybe it seemed like maybe at times maybe more than platonic with the late great Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah, we talked about it, and I was like, "Hey, that's the werewolf from True Blood." But now it's the werewolf from True Blood, the guy from Pee Wee Herman, and the host of this. When I heard
No, they
y'all
called him
ask-
from Spider-Man.
Yeah.
the guy said from Spider-Man. I was like, "That's not what I know him from."
What's
That is not what I
Spider-Man
knew
is
him
he?
from. Yeah.
That is not what
I'm
I
not
know him
like
from.
Not this new one, right, Chappell?
Listen, this was from Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. So yeah, the 2002 Spider-Man. You know, the OG.
Mhm.
Well, you know the latest thing that Joe Manganiello is from? Kim's Sexy Dreams, because we got a lot of
Oh, Kim Mattina.
we got
Yeah.
a lot of Kim Mattina thirsting for Joe
Yeah.
in this hour and a half episode here.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So are you
So
are
I
you
think that's the
shipping them,
latest.
Jenny? Is that what you're saying?
I think that I think Joe might be spoken for. I feel like something popped up on my
Whoa.
feed the other day. I think the algorithm has knows that I've been talking about him recently. So I think it
Mhm.
showed me something about his new bae. And I'm sorry to say that it is not Kim Mattina. But we got lots of clips of her being like, Joe is hot. And then there was like the clip of like when they were in the showers and she's like just standing outside of like someone's shower stall being like, yeah, so he's like younger than me, but like Joe is hot. Like she's taking any opportunity to share her like unquenchable thirst for Joe Manganiello, and I love it. So I think that that's his
He has that
newest
effect on
role.
people.
Yeah, I mean
Mhm.
he's bringing the fits to the island. Like he's got tigers on the shirts. He got the buttons are undone.
Mhm.
So like he knows what he's doing.
Mhm. Yeah. Okay, so let's keep an eye on that over the course of the season.
Yeah,
What's going on with
thirst watch.
The Thirst Watch. Yes, Thirst Watch. This will be fun.
Thirst watch. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of should we start with our headlines here and then talk about then other things that happen. So ultimately, we had this situation where we had our very first game and our contestants had to go and find their suitcases. And Kim Mattina not only stuck on Joe Manganiello, but also stuck in the mud. And then we had this the inciting incident. Chappell, Branson says, I am going to help Kim out. The dealer is offering $10,000 to anybody that goes back and gets a red suitcase. Was Branson, are you buying that he always was going to help out Kim?
Yeah, I think that this man's being completely honest. I think that he saw that Kim struggled. They had to literally drag her out of the mud, and he's like, okay, she's going back in there. Obviously, she thinks her amount is very low. I'll help her out. She was struggling. I'll throw her a case that's probably a little bit more than whatever she has, or whatever. Maybe she steals it. Whatever the case may be, I think he was just being a nice guy. The problem is that he's on an island with one of the most notorious villains to ever step foot on an island. And so the moment he gets in the mud, hey, I did. You know what I'm saying? I know heroes versus villains very well. And so when they're talking about it, Rob's kind of just like, yeah, isn't it crazy that he's doing this? That's going to screw somebody over. Probably one of us. Isn't it crazy that this man is about to go screw one of us over by giving her this deal? That's wild. And everybody like, yeah. Now, not to say that they weren't thinking that at first, but there's no way Boston Rob isn't going to let the ball get rolling on this. I feel like Branson was in over his head and not in the mud. Just he wasn't prepared for that.
Well, this is classic Rob of that. If you go back to like Redemption Island, where okay, he has his people, and then when somebody does something shady, okay, it gives him a great opportunity to bond with the rest of the people about not what he's doing, not why you should worry about him, but why that it's hey, we all are in this together about this other person. That's the problem. Oh, do they have an idol? Oh, okay, everybody. Okay, this is what we're doing. This is the plan. Okay, trust me. I got your back. Again, trust me. And that's really essential for him establishing his foothold. And he talked about, the BR rule book, which I've forgotten about that for a minute. But I think we're going to be,
We're
back
baby.
here. We're back here, like getting the classic Boston Rob lessons.
And some Boston Rob quotes that we've heard before. I don't know if they Frankenbite this type of stuff in, but it's like
What do you say?
Every time they try, they should vote me out early every time, but they don't. They never do.
Sometimes they do.
Yeah.
Sometimes they do.
Yeah. I was like, it happened before. I've seen it. Okay, don't do
Yeah.
that. No, do not do that.
Believe there are.
Yeah, I think it should
some
be like
examples.
sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Yeah.
But when they don't,
and this is looking like one of those times when they don't.
But that's the thing; it's a Frankenbite. So maybe he is saying sometimes they do and sometimes they don't.
Yeah,
and
but Chappell, when you go see like an old band, you're like, play the hits.
Yeah,
do the hits.
We don't play the new stuff. Say the old things.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
did it. He did what I wanted from him. This was a good episode for Boston Rob, as
He
far as
said
I'm
the thing.
concerned.
Is
Yeah.
he going to do if you can? If you can.
If you can,
Like, is
yeah.
he gonna pull Aaron
Oh.
aside and be like, Aaron, I need you to protect me tonight. if
Mark
you
this
can."
down. Like,
If
put
you
this
can.
on your bingo card. There's
Okay.
gonna be somebody from this show that's salty as all hell with Rob
Oh,
at some point during this thing. They
I
shook
mean,
his hand.
th-
And he's like, "Yeah, you didn't really think I was gonna do that, did you?" Like, that's gonna happen on this show,
well,
and
here's the
then we're
thing.
gonna toast.
Yeah, like Dundee.
I mean,
You got
it's
Dondied.
guaranteed. It's guaranteed to happen. And the thing is like, yes, we see Rob is already kind of, up to his old tricks and, kind of working his magic. But at the same time, his name was in a lot of people's mouths. It's
Yeah.
not like he's squeaky clean and there's like the cult starting. Like,
This is a good point. Well,
Yeah.
I think the cult could be starting, but
it still could be starting, but
this is the difference between Survivor or even Big Brother and this. Chappell, it only takes one person. Just one.
Mhm.
It's one
Yep.
person. The wrong person gets up there and they win the bankers game, and they could just sit there like, "Okay, I choose to evict Boston Rob," and that's
Yeah.
it. That's
That's
it.
it.
And then I'm off the
Or-
podcast.
Yes.
You
So
sound
it's
too
like they
excited
really
about
need
that.
to choose. But they really need to choose who they want to even play against the banker. Like there's gonna be moments, I'm assuming, where I gotta get this case just so you don't get the case. I might not necessarily need the case, but you can't have it, because if you have it and you get down there and say my name, I'm cooked. And these people know who Boston Rob is. If they didn't know, they definitely found out in this first episode, because people gonna talk about it. And so I
They
think
effed
that
around and found out.
yeah, and it only takes one detractor. And Rob often has at least one person on the outs who's like, "What? I don't like this guy." And normally they are powerless because you can't get the cult against him. But this time, you just need that one straggler. So it'll be fun to watch him navigate that.
There's
Mhm.
so many layers to it, which I think makes it kind of fun, because like I was even thinking about it. I was like, okay, so do you just want to be quiet and kind of like be in the middle? I mean, I think at first that's the play, and that's where Branson ultimately goes wrong. Is he should have just like sat there and not even made a name for himself. But I like, do you just like not be in the bottom, not be at risk of playing the banker, but also not be grabbing a lot of attention by getting like these biggest briefcases every week,
Mhm.
and then just like never be like being good enough with people, they don't see you as a threat, and then you just you play at the end. Like, but then even that, it's like, okay, you have to be so secure on your relationships with literally everyone, because at any given point the wrong person wins, and it all goes to S again. And I don't know why I've started censoring myself, but I don't know what's happening here. But like for Rob, if he gets in a situation and where he feels like he's not on great ground with enough people, should his strategy just be do whatever he can to be the one playing the banker and then leave it up to luck? Because like be in charge of his own destiny in terms of like leave it up to luck
Yeah.
with the
Okay.
banker,
That's
and no
really
one can
interesting,
get rid of
Jenny.
him.
I wasn't thinking about that, but we talk about this a lot when we cover in Claim to Fame. And we
Yeah.
say that like people are
Being the
always like, "Oh,
guesser.
I don't know if I want to be in the guesser, because if I'm wrong, I'm out." But like if and this is not there's no sure thing here, but
Mhm.
it's like, okay, I think I have, a I think I could, like, I trust myself. I'll have at least a 50% shot to stay if I'm the one playing the game, as opposed to leaving it in somebody else. Now there's a 50-50 shot, I guess, at the start that person could just lose the game themselves. So I guess there is, and I don't know if there is like a best practice in terms of like figuring this out, Chappelle.
Yeah, I think that's the cool thing about this being the first season, though. It's like we get to watch people unravel the strategy of this game and what works and what doesn't work. Because he makes a good point. I think if I'm Rob, there is a target on my back. I don't like they might not be saying it to him, but to us, they're saying, y'all already got money. You, Claudia Jordan, Joe Manganiello, why are y'all here? Y'all are rich. Let's get y'all out so the rest of us who don't have a
Yeah.
ton of
Well, Joe
money
Manganiello,
can do
the
this.
host.
Does he
Well,
does
listen,
he get to play?
if we get him out, look, we don't know. He might be the host and the banker. He'd be like playing on the phone.
Well, they're going to
What if
show the
it's a
banker
coach's
at the end of the
twist?
season.
It could be him. He's just like, "Hello, yeah, banker," and there's nobody on the phone. It's not even
Oh
on.
my God.
But no,
Who
seriously,
would do that?
Joe Manganiello. But anyway, I think that if you are like Rob and think that these people are incentivized to just pick me because if you say I took out Rob, it's not going to piss off anybody. Everybody's gonna be like, "Well, you're right. He had a shot." But I think these other alliances that are going to get strong are not going to be built around the idea that they're going to be friends with Boston Rob for the rest of their lives. Like this is going to be something like we all took out Boston Rob. They can bond over that. So you could be that guy very easily, get away with it, and be like, well, I don't have to justify it. He's already won these games. He's cutthroat. He's backstabbing people, blah, 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 and get away with it. That's an easy shot to take at somebody. So if you're Rob, maybe you want to be the one shooting. I think it's a great idea.
And I wonder if people are just like sitting there thinking, especially if they start developing like negative feelings towards other people, which based on like the preview of the season, it seems like we are going to be getting some non-Boston Rob centric beefs, which is good news for him. But do you just develop a couple good relationships with people to the point where they feel like he gets up there, he's not taking them out, and so keep them around a little bit longer, get out some of the people that you don't feel as good with, and then you can just take him out at some point when you need to, if there's enough people all on the same page about that being the plan. It's kind of like the traitors idea of like keep a traitor around that about until the certain point and then just get rid of them at the last minute.
Yeah, this is a good analog with the traders that so many of us are watching right now here and this show, because I kind of feel like, okay, so Rob is ultimately like in the trader position, okay?
Right.
So and everybody else who are the people like, okay, we know we have to get the trader out at some point, but if you push too hard, if you start like saying like, oh, accusation, and he did this, it's he's so good at turning the thing back around at you. So everybody's like, oh, I got to stay out of the bankers showdown. I don't want to get picked. So everybody's like, I got to keep a low profile. And so I think that really does play to what Rob is able to do so well. That's why I think he's set up really, really well on this show.
He comes out of the gate doing the Boston Rob thing with Aaron. He's in the Jeep, the first shot we get. So it's me and you to the end, right? Aaron's like, yeah. But the one thing that he has against him, y'all, is that this is the time where everybody knows Boston Rob, and if they don't know about it, we gonna talk about it, and they're going to know about Boston Rob. So he's talking to Aaron like, hey, it's me and you, kid, because he has to. That's the only move he really has right now. And Aaron's like, yeah, but you're still Boston Rob. In any other season of television, we're probably looking at them going, me and Rob are best friends. I love Rob. I'm going to the end with Rob. Rob's great. We saw him win at Survivor. He had these people cooked. But this time, Aaron's like, but Rob could also be playing me. And we don't get that a lot. And I think that, now that he has taken his mask off, it's going to be very hard for him to put it back on and go under the radar. I think he might have to play aggressively here.
Jenny, I got to hear you talk about Aaron.
I love Aaron. Shocking to no one.
I'm about to say, who? Jenny, we could have. What? You love Aaron?
I adore him. I wanted to ask, like, do we feel, not to say that anything is rigged, but like, oh, they just so happened to put Rob and Aaron in the little Jeep together. They had like the little, like,
is producing the show rigging the show?
Exactly.
Like, it's like,
that's
okay,
why I'm saying it's not rigging it.
I gotta see Boston Rob talk to like this like little guy that you want to put in a teacup. And then I gotta see these two interact.
No, and that's why I'm saying it's not rigging, but like I'm saying, like they had to.
It's called making
had
TV.
to do it exactly.
Good TV.
But you guys all agree that even if it weren't for the fact that they started their journey together, quite literally, in a vehicle, that Aaron is the kind of guy that I think, based on how the rest of the cast would still be the guy that Rob would love to have as his right-hand man.
Yeah, they
so
covered.
I got. Well, let me then say I don't know about that. Like, I feel like that in typically like that Rob's partner, like I feel like is not typically that guy. And so if you didn't watch that show or this show, Aaron is like imagine like a Cochrane type.
Yeah,
Would that be fair to say?
probably maybe smaller.
But
Like
he's like
imagine
gentler,
like a little Cochrane.
Yeah.
and I just like, and he's like an accountant, or like he's like
Mm-hmm.
numbers is his gate. Like he's very clearly very, very smart, but he's so like sweet. Like he
Sweet, a
doesn't
sweet
have that
kid.
same,
Yeah.
he doesn't, but he, the way that he talks about Rob and the way that he talks about the game, I think there's something like he has that energy that people, and I love this. People miss, like they completely have no idea how capable and smart, like they obviously know he's smart, but I don't think they realize how like socially sharp he is too, and how like aware of the dynamics of the game beyond just the numbers he is. And I think that he's just so underestimated because of how he comes off and his like innocent seeming energy, because he is so sweet, because he is like adorable, and you know, like he's kind of giggling while they're like, oh, Aaron, take your shirt off, and like they're kind of like almost like infantilizing him a little bit, which is like a little bit condescending, but like I think that he knows that that's the vibe he gives off to people, and I love that. Whereas I think that like a Cochrane type is like a little bit more like almost comes off like a little bit cockier, if that makes sense. Like he's like putting the cocky in Cochrane.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And this is not like an insult to Cochrane. I just think that like
I mean,
Cochrane kind of had like that sort of like I know better kind of swag before, but even before a second season. And so I feel like that doesn't come off as obviously with Aaron's energy. Like I think he's
yeah.
really good at downplaying like his threat level, which is great for him.
Well, I think it's interesting because I feel that Rob has really never encountered this type of person
Right.
in his Survivor playing career. Whereas like this is the type of person that was not on Survivor in Rob's era of Survivor. Like
Mhm.
this is the type of person that's on Survivor now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Which is why I feel like based on the field, he's the most sensible type for him to gravitate towards. But you're right, we haven't seen that kind of person when he's played before. But I think that like
Mhm.
when you look at some of these other people, I'm like, of course he's not like vibing with that kind of
Yeah.
energy.
Chappell, there's also a big age difference here. Rob is of a certain age. I think Aaron is what, like 23?
He's like
Yeah.
26.
Yeah, this is weird, right? Because like we've watched Rob grow up on television. I remember when Rob was the young kid on the
Yeah,
tribe,
when
and
he
everyone's
was
like,
26.
yeah, and they're
Mhm.
like, these kids don't want to work at all. And now he's known for building shelters.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a lot has changed here. But I agree with you. Aaron does give like pocket Cochran, yeah, but at the same
Mhm.
time,
Cochran.
yeah, but I feel like Rob might have identified him as potentially like a Nat 10, a Natalie Tenorelli, who she's young, but if she clings on to him, he can kind of like, okay, you have strengths, I have strengths, let me play off all those strengths, and then I just gotta beat you at the end, and I could probably beat you.
Yeah.
But I don't think, like you said, I don't think he's ever encountered a player like this before. And to be fair, it's a good ally to have short term because we don't know what long term looks like. I mean, the very next episode, somebody could just be like, yeah, let's just get him. And then he's
Mhm.
gone. And you've done all this work
Yeah.
nurturing a relationship with somebody who could potentially just go. So I
It's
think he's
really
a,
gonna
he's a great person to work with.
Yeah.
I think it's really gonna come down to like, does this kid, Aaron, does he go back? Does he tell Boston Rob everything that he learned? Where that he's so unassuming that people, do they like open up to him, and then does he make himself valuable to Boston Rob? Jenny, this is my comparison that I had to this show when I was watching. Deal or No Deal Island is Succession. Boston
Oh,
Rob is Logan Roy.
oh no.
Everybody else on the island, they're all need to make themselves useful to Logan
Mm.
Roy, or otherwise they're not part of this anymore.
So yeah, we've got, and we're at the beginning of the story here, where we've got everyone being like, this guy, like, let's get him out of
Could
here.
Aaron be Tom Wamsgams here?
Yeah. I think that at this point he's probably our leading Tom Wamsgams candidate. The thing is, and that this is what I love about Aaron's position here, is that like Aaron out the gate is aware of Boston Rob and his capabilities and is not going to blindly follow him. He's definitely kind of like, this is someone I want to work with right now because it helps me, which is why it does kind of align with the Tom and Logan relationship, because like, you know, he is kind of like, let me be helpful to you so that, you know, we're good, but I'm aware that your time, like the clock is ticking, and I'm gonna take over your kingdom when it's all.
I don't know,
when it's all
maybe.
over.
And Chappell, he's a New England kid too.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna go, you'd be a New England kid and go on this show with Boston Rob, and then you're not gonna work with him.
Yeah, you kind of have to, right? But you know, Boston Rob's identifying other people from that area and saying, "Look, Stephanie, I know you. Okay, you're from Boston."
She lied to him.
Yeah, and he knows what kind of person she is because she's from that area too. So it could be it's a double-edged sword right there, being from that area. But here's the thing: Rob probably would be set up pretty well in a normal season like this. But I mean, these people knowing who he is and also wanting to make a name for themselves. You have Kim Mattina, who has said to the cameras, "I am going to be a villain and manipulate people."
Yeah.
What bigger villainous move to make a name for yourself than to bring us Boston Rob's head on a stake? You know, it's like, ha ha, got him. You know, and so it's like it might
I
be.
mean,
Big
if
game
Joe
hunting for these
Manganiello's
people.
not impressed with that,
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Listen,
What
he's
else
not
is she
gonna look
gonna
your way twice. Right. Man was married to Sofia Vergara, for God's sakes. You got to bring the heavy hitters.
They broke up.
Was married.
was married. Was
Was
married.
I think it's recent.
The big moment that we started this conversation with, okay, we had Branson. He goes and he gets the suitcase and he gives it to Kim Mattina. Kim Mattina has the opportunity to then switch. She has one of the red suitcases and she ends up taking the $1 million suitcase in exchange for immunity. And so, or for the person that she took it from, which
Dawson.
is Dawson.
Yeah. And
so yes,
I don't know if this is gonna. That's the one thing I was wondering when we were talking about the function of the game. I don't know if the red briefcase and the steal function is gonna be a thing. Like, I don't know if there's gonna be someone that's immune every single episode from being eliminated. But you know, this is a big deal where Dawson was hiding. Exactly. They're hiding what values they got in the mud, and but Kim gets ahead of it and basically says, listen, if anyone wants to tell me they've got the $1 million, I will steal it, but I will absolutely not put you up against the banker tonight. And Dawson, like, I mean, I guess he could have just held that briefcase tight and pretended he didn't have it and see if somebody else was going to be like, here, Kim, take it from me. It's not $1 million, but you can have it. But he goes for it, and I thought that was an interesting move here. I mean, it worked out a lot better for him than what Branson tried to do to be a gentleman. Which was trying to help her, just trying to make the red briefcase closer for her to bring in.
Yeah. Well, Chappell, is Kim Mattina doing too much? Where I think that she has like the ultimate camouflage of that. She comes into this game and she's like, hey, like I'm an older woman, and people like even Branson, if we take him at his word, is like, oh, I'm showing compassion to this person, where she could wear that as a disguise for this whole game, and then people are like, oh, we love. And it's not even like Survivor, where it's like at the final tribal council, they'd be like, Kim, how could we were nice to you? How could you have done this to us? But she's kind of like you mentioned, she's wearing the like, I'm here to be a villain. Like I'm super cutthroat. I'm strategic. But I just wonder, is that a mistake to sort of like wear that so nakedly and open to this group?
Yeah, well, she says it to us for sure. I wonder if she's letting that on to them as well, right? Because even when
And
she's
she's
getting pulled
calling
out
out
the
Rob
mud,
in front of everybody.
Well, that wasn't her. To be fair, I think Branson actually got the conversation going, and she was because he was like, "Oh, he's like, oh, I watch Big Brother, I watch Survivor." Like, "Oh, so you know who Rob is?" And that's when she's like, "Yeah, I know who Rob is." And she could have really buried Rob in that moment. I think that she knows better than to make herself look like very like conniving or like a cutthroat in this game, because I think this game is really going to be more about making friends than anything. Like being cutthroat is one thing that can help you, but making friends to where everybody gets down there and they don't want to say your name, no matter what the outcome is with the banker, your name is just never coming up. Like, who's the guy who's going to shoot at Aaron? You know, like that's going to be crazy, right? So it's like, if you can be that person, like to your point, Rob, the person that everybody wants to protect and nobody wants to go after, you might be sitting pretty. But I think she did show that she at least has a strategic mind with that move to steal the case and then guarantee somebody basically a free ride by giving them $1 million, because it helps everybody. The $1 million case being in the game is something that they can all, try to get at the end of the game. But also, she didn't want immunity for herself. So it was a good move. I don't know how long before people start saying, is it too good? Should we really be watching her?
I think that with the Rob was on Survivor conversation and move, I think she at least gets an assist for. And obviously Branson did the worst because he was just going like, "Oh, and you were a villain, right?" And like, "Oh, you must oh Kim, so you know all of Rob's tricks and stuff." Like Branson really said the worst stuff, but it did, especially Rob's like recounting after. I do think that Kim was a player in that.
"Hey, why's this old lady throwing shit
Yeah.
at
Calling me
me?"
out.
Yeah. He literally called her an old lady. And he also said, and this is like,
Yeah.
and I think that this, like, if you're Kim, based on how she's talked about herself and how she sees herself in this game and how she wants to play, Rob called her the most dangerous person out there. So he sees it. And like that's a pretty big claim from Boston Rob. And I don't know if that confessional just happened after that whole get to know you conversation. He was just pissed off. But he sees something. Like he does not see her as like this poor old woman that's struggling in the mud and we all need to help her.
Yeah, and to be fair to Kim, like I don't know if she's trying to present herself that way.
Right,
Yeah,
yeah.
she did get stuck in the mud, but I don't know if she wants to come across as that. I'm just saying, but to me, it seems like that would be
Seems
such
like
a
the
good
move.
camouflage.
Oh, it would be so much better
Yeah.
if that was what she was doing, but I don't know if that is what she's doing.
It's kind of like the way she talks about Survivor could allow Buster Rob to realize that that's not somebody that is not familiar with his game, right? Because she says he's a great ally, but he's also somebody you should be concerned about in the game, right? Like so she talks about it in a very nuanced way when she could have been like, "Oh, I love Boston Rob. Him and Amber got like married on the show. It's so cute. I talk about that with my kids all the time." Rob might think, "Oh, okay, this old lady knows me, but she don't know me." But if you start to get down to like, okay, the third time he played, let me tell you what happened, and then the fourth time, and then the fifth time,
Like, well, let me give you some Rob C rules for people, okay? Because
Please.
we're in the multiverse era, okay? In the last 12 months, 18 months, we've seen all the greats. They come back and they're playing these shows with all these normies. Rob here, Suri, Parvati, Sandra,
Dr.
Tyson,
Will just shows up to
like they
do a
come
cameo.
back and let me give you some advice to everybody. When you go on the show and you're there with these people, just be excited to see them. And don't be talking about like everything that they did in the past. They don't like it.
Don't draw attention to it.
Rob, that didn't even work when you played with this man, and
No.
that was 30 years ago. You were like, "Buster Rob, you're like, Buster Rob, let's talk about my cases." He's like, "No."
You didn't like it then. That was 22 years ago.
Exactly. Like it never worked, and it's definitely not working now. Yeah, the goal
When
is
you
to
meet
come
Suri, just be like,
Yeah.
"Oh, that's cool. You were on Survivor. Awesome." Like,
Tell me
Right.
more about being a nerd.
Tell me about when you split the votes.
Yeah.
The
3, 2, 1.
1. Yeah.
What was that like?
I think that's the only way you really you either play completely dumb and be like, "I don't know," or you be up these people's ass like, "Oh my God, like I saw you on television. I'm a big fan. I don't know nothing about the strategy, but love you, the person,
I'm
and I would never
starstruck.
say your name."
You need
Right.
to be
And then-
dumb, casual energy. You need to come off as like you're like a CBS like Facebook page, but like not racist.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a great point. Yeah, because it's one of those things where you want these people to know that you like them, and that, but you also don't know that they have all of this trickery to them. And then the coolest thing about this game is that you can have that in the back of your mind, get down there, secure your briefcase, and then say, "I want you out." And nobody has to know
Mhm.
why. You don't need no
Yep.
reason. You don't have to put them up for the nomination block. You just point and click. And I think that that is how you take out
Well,
somebody like Boston Rob in this game.
For sure. And like I think for Kim too, like she's listing that she is a big reality TV fan, and she's listing other games like Big Brother, and I can't remember what other things she said, but like other social strategy games are in that list. When you become more than a person that's like, yeah, I watch Survivor and then that's it. Like I don't, like I have
yeah.
no idea what else. It's a show we watch with the family and that's it. Like
It's like, you're my mom's favorite. My mom is gonna
Right.
go
right.
crazy.
Yeah, that's the
I
energy you
loved
need to
you on The
bring.
Amazing Race. I loved you on The
Yeah.
Amazing Race.
Yeah.
It was a
Talk
perfect
about the
season of
Amazing Race.
television.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you talk about The Amazing Race, Rob's not gonna look at you twice. He's like,
Yeah.
okay, fine. She's good.
Yeah.
She's good,
Yeah.
y'all.
Tell me your
I
favorite
can't
place
believe
you
they
went.
brought the plane back. That was BS. But even that, it's too much. You're doing too much. Just like,
Yeah.
You're
like,
Rob from the
wow.
renovation show. I saw you
Yeah.
making like flipping
Celebrity
houses.
Yeah.
renovation. Yeah.
Wow.
And you met your wife there? That's so cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think
Mhm.
that, as soon as you're revealing that kind of stuff, like Rob is going to know that you know things, not just about him, just about all of these shows, and that you're not just there for an opportunity, that you're there to play the game,
Mhm.
Mhm.
Okay. So ultimately, we got to get to the deal or no deal part of this. Real quick, though, Jenny, what do you think about the living situation? I kind of like that they
Ugh.
didn't even bother with like trying to make it like a survival situation.
Yes.
It's like,
Oh God.
I don't
cares?
care. Okay, that's not the
here's a tent. Here's a
not
continental
every
breakfast.
not every
Mhm.
show needs to have suffering, okay?
Yeah.
Well, and even this one still does seem to have suffering, because it seems like some of these like challenge, like they were in the mud. It was
Sure.
the
But
equivalent
they
of
go home
Kathy in the molasses
and
and
it's
Big
not
Brother
like that they're
12.
sleeping on like a bed of nails.
No. And like Rob
Yeah.
gave us like the heads up about the accommodations. But it was cool to see like how it is literally glamping. They have showers. And you know what? I think that's great, because I don't think this show needs to have a starving and not sleeping well element. I
Yeah, who
don't care to
cares?
watch them make a shelter. If that's there are a million other shows where you can watch that. It does not, it would just be taking up airtime that I don't think is important to the storyline here. Don't try to be Survivor. Don't try to be Naked and Afraid. Don't try to be any of these things. Cool, it's on an island. Yes, you're in little like, fancy tents while the banker is on a effing yacht, but that's fine and it's cute. I love it. It looks adorable. Like,
We
and
got
Rob is so
suitcases to
pumped.
open. Yeah.
Yeah, like we
Yeah.
just although Rob, I will say when we asked Rob on in the interview about, because he said, they fed us, it was great, like, it was basically like a resort.
Mhm.
And I said, well, in that preview, we saw Ben, one of the models, talking about he wanted vodka for his cucumber water. And Joe Manganiello said, I got you next time. And I said, like, how fancy are we getting here? Like, bringing out the Grey Goose? And BR said, no booze, but I swear to God, I saw like a clip coming up, and it looks like they're all cheersing what
Uh-oh.
looks to be mimosas. Okay,
Hmm.
and unless they're having orange juice, just straight up orange juice and champagne flutes, then I think that Boston Rob also played me and lied to my face about the booze.
Maybe he's not. Maybe he wasn't there, and then that happened.
Oh no, he's in the
Ooh.
shot. He's in the shot
He's
with
in the
the
shot. Okay.
he's in the shot with the mimosa.
You know
so.
what? I don't know if Rob's a mimosa guy. Maybe
Yeah, maybe
day,
his was
he's
just
a day
orange juice.
39 mimosa guy, but
Yeah.
outside of that, I don't know if he's
You think he's gonna turn it down? Come on.
Yeah. If you turn down a mimosa, I can't respect you. Look. These people are on a resort. Yes. Even Rob called them excursions when y'all were talking about the challenges. That's the only time you
They're not
use that word, is
challenges.
when you're on vacation. You're like, oh, I went on a few excursions.
excursion.
Here and
We
there.
went
Yeah.
ziplining.
Right, exactly, and there is some of that coming up as well. So yeah,
Yep.
this is not the same. This is
Although
a
there
resort vacation with a game show involved.
Yeah.
Yes, and that's fine. I'm totally fine with that because in most cases I am like I don't pay attention during the challenges on these shows anyway. And the other thing is like then you have the other challenge which is the game against the banker. So it's like
Yeah.
we don't need to get too crazy with the excursion because then we're also going to watch people open briefcases. Like we don't need the whole show to be just like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
We want time for the interactions.
Okay, so let's get to our main course, the deal
Mhm.
or no deal game here, where we see where Branson, he's in big trouble. We get Aaron is ultimately Kim's pick. I mean that she promised Branson that she was. Oh no, she promised
Dawson.
what the Dawson.
Dawson.
Yeah.
She wasn't gonna pick him. So it's gonna be Aaron, but Rob is like really like getting everybody all ginned up against Branson. The more Branson is trying to get out of it, the
No
worse
booze,
he's
Rob.
in it. Yeah. So Aaron is gonna play deal or no deal. All
Yeah.
right. And here's the rules of deal or no deal when you get to this. Okay. You pick out a suitcase. Okay. Then the ultimate offer you accept has to be higher than the suitcase you have. Ironically, like I guess if you take an offer from the bank, you're hoping your suitcase is 1 penny. But
Mhm.
if you get to your suitcase, you hope that there's a good number in your suitcase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll flip it. Okay?
Pretty much.
So you open up a bunch of suitcases and then the banker starts calling and then you have to decide when to take a number. Now, I thought the most fascinating part of this, and we were sort of touching on this earlier, of the whole peanut gallery, the Price is Right audience of the deal or no deal. Like I thought poor Aaron, because everybody's like, no deal, F
No
the
Yeah.
banker, go for it. It's like
Right?
because they don't care if he goes home. They don't care if he loses.
It's better for that. Like him
better
going
for
home
them.
means they're safe.
Best case scenario. He doesn't pick any of us. And like, you can do it. We got this.
Yeah.
Tell him no way.
But you have to think that in this particular scenario that you have to think that most people know that he was going to take out Branson. Like it did seem to me based on the edit and just the way that everyone was talking about Branson that it just felt like he was the clear, it was either Aaron goes or Branson, or he gets the deal and Branson goes. So I think that this is the time where you feel probably the most comfortable sitting over there because it's like,
Yeah.
Aaron's not picking me. But in general, yeah, you would be rooting for things that I guess the thing that I'm not sure about is how does it work if they take a bad deal? Like, how does that work for the prize bank?
Prize pot. I think that then that bad deal just goes into the prize pot, but the
They
person
just get
goes
whatever
up.
that money is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Well, wait, is it a prize pot or are these briefcases? I thought that they were stacking briefcases for the end of the game. So like in this episode, Aaron got the $600,000 briefcase.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
And when
okay.
they play the
So
final
that
deal or
becomes
no
a
deal,
briefcase for later.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
got
That
it.
would make sense.
I missed that.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
Now-
I think that's hold on. That's what I think. But I told you when people start
Ask
talking about
Branson.
numbers,
Ask Branson when you talk to him.
Yeah. Because it could
He
be
doesn't know.
because if
He wasn't there.
because if there's a 1 cent, like if Aaron's briefcase was 1 cent, is 1 cent what goes into
No,
Yes.
it's whatever. No, I think it's whatever
be one of
deal
the
he
briefcases.
accepts.
and
I-
whatever the deal is, and that becomes a briefcase.
I think so. I think that
Okay.
he added that $600,000
Because
briefcase.
like at one
to-
point it was like
to the-
$107 or $107,000 the
Mhm.
banker
'Cause
offered
you-
at one point. So it's like, do you
'cause
get a
Dealer No-
briefcase that's 107?
Yeah, Deal or No
I
Deal
guess-
doesn't have a prize pot. Like
Right.
in order to play the
Yeah.
game, you have to go
Well,
with the briefcase.
I
so it
guess
just
in my
makes sense.
mind, we have a prize pot that we're building, and the prize pot is $7 million. And then in the final deal or no deal, I guess in my mind, there's like one suitcase has $7 million. And it's sort of like you could hit that, but you probably won't. You're probably getting a,
Yeah.
but the $7 million suitcase is in the final showdown with the banker.
That would be pretty interesting. Yeah.
And if they have enough high value suitcases at the end, briefcases at the end, then that's where you're going to get some of these real high value offers from the banker that we're starting to see, at least, is a part of it. So yeah.
Permission to venture into nerdy probability talk.
Go for it.
Okay.
Like,
and again,
I'm sorry, Christian Hubicki's not here.
We
You
need
got
Christian Hubicki
my
here.
dumbass.
This is not my area of expertise. Let me just say, like, our resident banker, our resident banker behind the scenes, Sam Moore. Were you following any of this in terms of? We'll see in the chat if he was.
Okay, we'll see.
All right, so I want to jump to a point where we get to there's 6 suitcases that are left. Okay. Two of them are better offers than he has. Then I think at this point there's $107,000 offer from the banker. Two of the suitcases are higher. 3 of them are lower. And so at that point, it's basically he has a 2 in 5 chance to beat the banker's offer. And so he says, no deal. He ends up opening up 2 more suitcases, and he gets it down to there's only 3 suitcases left. And it seems like then he has 2 that are better than the banker's new offer.
Yes.
And 1 that is worse. So at that point, does he not have a 66% chance to stay? Would that have been the most optimal for him to have taken the banker's deal at $266,000?
No, because he wants.
I guess optimally he wants. I guess for whatever reason he cares about adding prize money to the pot. I would care about staying on the show.
But if you so at that point, the cases he had left when were $75, $400K, $600K, and the offer was $266K. So the chances are that there is a higher chance that he has a briefcase bigger than that. So it's actually better for him to not take the deal, because if he takes the deal and has 400 or 600, he's gone. It's a bad deal. He took $266K when he had 400 or 600K. If it were the other way around, and the 3 briefcases left were like $75 and $250, and then like $400K, the offer was $266, that case I would say take the deal, right?
Yeah. I think that makes sense. Yeah,
like I kind of feel like that you have to, like, if you get it to ever over 50%, don't you have to just take the deal at that point?
Well, not, I guess not really, right? Because, like, I mean, yeah, the odds are that are probably in your favor, but here the odds were not in his favor. It was just like the 200 that he's offered is less than the 400 and the 600. So it was like, okay, well, obviously, I think at that point he was winning.
So I think I had it backwards. So I think at 107,000, Jenny, there's 2 suitcases that are higher than the 107,000.
That was the riskier choice.
I feel like that wasn't the good time. What were the suitcases that were left at 107,000?
That's what I meant. Like, that was like where it was a riskier time for him to keep going, because and then he got lucky between that and the next deal, because he ended up banging at a few of those smaller suitcases.
He was lucky. He had what did he have? 600,000.
Yeah,
that's what he ended up
lucky
having.
He had like the $600,000 suitcase, because ultimately, like, it would have been very hard for him to have taken any deal that would have been better than 600,000. Like, ideally, you want to pick the 1 penny suitcase.
I mean, if that's it's
counterintuitive.
That will keep you in the game. That is what will keep you in the game, for sure.
I don't care about the prize pot. Let other people worry about the prize pot. I gotta stay.
Yeah. But also, it's like you're picking the case when you have what was it, 20 cases?
Mhm.
How the
Yeah.
hell are you like, you have no data at that point. It's just
Mhm.
vibes, baby. Like you're just saying, oh, like he literally picked the case he picked because it was his girlfriend's birthday or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, and
Yeah.
she's his lucky charm. And I mean,
Yeah.
like, it was a pretty good number he got. So like it
Chappelle,
worked out.
how about this moment where he's like picking the numbers and then he's like, okay, I have a girlfriend. Hey, look at you, Aaron.
Yes, Aaron.
got a
Let
girlfriend?
them know.
Yeah.
Let them know. Okay. They too busy trying to
No.
worry about taking care of Aaron, but Aaron said, "I'm good. I am good.
Yes.
We're good. We're safe."
Exactly.
Chappelle, this guy F's.
You
Look at
know
this
it.
guy, Aaron.
You know it. You know,
Yeah.
Aaron, get down. Aaron,
Yeah.
get down.
You saw him. You saw him on the Deal or No Deal.
You seen
Okay.
it. Okay. Get into
Okay.
it. And if he did it, he about to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
he's making money.
then he's like, okay, and then he gives like, oh, it's my mom's birthday, and then he does his dad's birthday, and then Joe Manganiello's like, okay, well, go back to the women in your family. He's like, well, I have more women in my family, but I don't know their birthdays.
Yeah. He tried. He did as much as he could.
I think that what happened was so he started with the women in his family. So it was like his girlfriend, then it was like his mom, his sister, and then he was doing well. He was getting rid of low cases. And then as soon as he went to his brother, his dad, it was like these big values. And it was like,
Yep.
okay, Joe's like, okay, let's maybe go back to the women in the family. I think what happened here is no more in the immediate family. Like he's like, yeah, I've got like an aunt and like a grandma
cares?
or something.
Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, I personally feel like I usually know those birthdays, but like if it's not your immediate family, like it's probably like
Yeah.
a less important birthday.
All right.
So that's what I took it as.
Aaron comes through. He gets the big deal. He adds the money to the prize pot. Everybody's going nuts, but he's still got to make a decision. And he said, "Got to be Branson. Too big a threat. Too big a threat."
It's just interesting to say, right? I mean, I think they know Branson plays poker, but how do you know that he's too big of a threat? How do you know that? You know, it felt like a cop-out answer, like, oh, I'm doing this out of respect for your game. But to what I had seen, Branson didn't seem that threatening. From even when he goes to make that deal with Aaron, he's like, okay, Aaron, don't pick me this time. Like back me. We're gonna have each other's back this time.
Oh yeah.
And for 3 weeks, you're saying, we're like, Branson, rule number 1. Every alliance is your alliance
3
to the
weeks.
end.
What are you, HOA?
Forever. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Bad
It was
HOH.
it was so
That
funny
was
when
Boston
then,
Rob food. That was food
Yes.
for him.
Oh
He's
yeah.
like, 3 weeks? Have you not read the BR rules? This
yeah,
is
it's
your
like,
first
well,
season,
that's the
sweetie?"
worst deal I ever heard. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If anything, like Rob was illuminating the fact that Branson was not a threat to do well in the game.
Yeah.
Where he's like, this is bad
Jenny,
negotiation.
Rob didn't even want Branson to go by the end. He's
No,
like, oh,
that's
this guy,
fair.
forget this guy. It's
He said,
Stephanie. We should go.
He literally said, save this idiot. He's in a pocket. Like,
Yeah. Because, I mean, he just gave you immunity for 3 weeks, essentially. If you trust him, you probably
with all of his
should.
power.
Right, with all of his power, yeah. But you know, like he had your back for 3 weeks at least. Everybody wants him out. Yeah, maybe now is the time you go rogue and just shoot at somebody else and be like, I didn't know what to do. I'm sorry, it's the first vote. I'm confused. You know, so I think Rob probably had the right instinct, but you know, he's not playing alone. You gotta have your whole team on board.
I don't think you can get that done with Aaron though. Like not on the first one.
Okay, so fun start to Dondi. Fun premiere.
Dondi.
Supersized Dondi. Don't forget, Chappelle's got a exit interview coming up with Branson. Look for that on Tuesday.
Oh no.
Hold on. Look at the
Another call?
hello? Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I see it.
Do you think it's Nicole?
Okay. All right. Okay, hold on. I'll check it out. Okay. All right. I got an offer.
Ooh.
Oh my
okay.
gosh.
The banker sent an offer to my home.
Whoa, no.
I had
briefcase.
something that I have here, a postcard from Joe Manganiello.
Oh my
says,
God.
Deal or No Deal is back. Okay. Joe Manganiello.
It's great.
I got this
Cool.
suitcase sent to my house.
Wait, what?
Okay.
Yes. This
What's in
isn't
it?
just
Well,
my makeup, Jenny.
you gotta
I have
open
not
it.
opened this. I'm gonna. Should I do an unboxing?
Yes,
Here?
Yeah.
I hope water doesn't come rushing out of it like the ones that they pulled out of the mud. That was just
Oh yeah,
disgusting.
yeah.
They were
Good
like
job on
gushing.
Joe Manganiello to try to like, yeah, that's 150K. All right, so here it is. Sent
Looks
sent
kind
to
of small,
me
Rob. I don't know
from
if that's a
Yeah.
big
from
amount.
from the makers of Deal or No Deal, and okay, it's not money,
It's
Okay,
not money.
what is
but
it?
they have sent some a gift, which we appreciate.
I love gifts.
I got a disposable camera.
What? Wait, is this a
Why?
time capsule? Where did you buy that?
I don't know. It's a Deal or No Deal disposable camera.
What's
I don't know if
How does one
what does that
develop the
mean?
film?
yeah,
Yeah,
I
how
don't
does
know if
one
that's
develop
part
film?
of the legacy of the show. I got a Deal or No Deal. Is this a water bottle? It's not a Stanley.
Hold
But it
up.
appears to be some kind of Deal or No Deal
It looks
a
like
little
a
water
mason
bottle,
jar.
a
It
mason
does
looks
look like a
jar.
mason jar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
You could make some like overnight oats in that.
make some
For liquor.
overnight oats. And then I also have now I got some SPF baby oil.
I thought
Yeah,
that was
Okay.
lube for a second.
All right.
You thought it was what,
Don't-
Jenny?
Yeah.
Don't use
Yes. This is Kim Matina inspired.
Well, and
Joe
Aaron, 'cause he was
Manganiello, are
very
you ready
right.
for your rub down?
He's
Oh
like,
my
let me
God.
get I don't want you to get too burnt.
Baby oil.
SPF 30. Keep it safe,
SPF
guys.
30. Yeah.
And this is the legendary vacation. I believe this is a scented candle. Is this a close the Deal or No Deal box? What is this
This
about?
is like, is there gonna like if you pull out some like handcuffs or like a paddle or something, I'm gonna have questions
Mhm.
about
and
what
I'm
this
gonna
is.
have more. You know?
Hey, Nicole, I've got great news.
Yeah.
Got a
Yes,
deal.
baby. Baby, oil that down. Listen, I think they're trying to
ready
win you over.
Hold on.
Oh no, it is
Yeah.
Nicole
Oh,
this time.
she said no deal.
Oh
No deal.
no.
Okay, we gotta sweeten the prize pot. We
Did you
gotta say
tell
more
her?
stuff.
Did you tell her about the candle? Like,
Yeah.
Right,
I
you
mean-
gotta sell this, Rob. The mason jar. Imagine what you could do with that.
I gotta
Yeah.
text Rob. Does they get him one of these? Okay.
They probably this is them trying to buy your way onto the
It's
podcast.
called
for long.
Vacation Set. They're really going with like the tropical Bankers Island
ooh,
motif.
does it smell
Like,
like
is this-
coconut?
Is this Deal or No Deal or the White Lotus? What
You
the
know-
hell is going on?
Rob, I think that's a good point. I think that for your Deal or No Deal audience, the people who watch Deal or No Deal, they might not be into the let me go survivor in the wild aspect, but they might enjoy let me do a few excursions and then play Deal or No Deal. That probably would make the show very attractive to people. So
Yeah.
you want to lean into
Yeah.
that. This is a vacation.
Yeah, it's like people
but they
like the White
happen to get muddy.
Lotus. They went
Right,
on a
they-
yacht on that show.
Right?
It's a vacation that they got muddy on. This is not a survival show. This is literally like you got muddy, you washed off, and then you play a Deal or No Deal. Come join our show. It's a vacation. I'm
Yeah.
thinking that the marketing is great for this.
It's the same thing as the White Lotus. You got a survivor. It's on an island.
Same thing. That's the two
Mhm.
components. Like it's vacation, but it's like vacation with like gambling and like risk taking. Like it's
No,
sexy.
yeah.
So Chappelle, you know what this is? This is like dehydrated fruit, and then
Yes,
You
Oh,
right.
this is like a
fill-
cocktail
you
mix.
fill a jar with liquor
I
Yes.
or
said
hot
And
or
then
hot
it
water,
infuses
and then
the-
you refrigerate, and then you can make 8 cocktails with this.
Okay,
I
that's
said-
actually sick.
Jenny said overnight oats. I said liquor. Boom.
I know,
Rob
you're
said there
right.
was
I
no
didn't see-
alcohol on this show.
Hey,
He lied to our face,
Jenny,
Rob. Like he
Not the
played
first
us.
time.
I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. And you still getting after 22 years, you still getting snowed by this man. Let it go. Stand up.
Listen, it was powerful. Yeah.
Mhm.
Wait, Rob, you have to save the camera. We'll bring it to Chicago. We'll take some selfies with it.
I'm trying to take a. picture on the podcast. I've never done that
And
before.
did.
Yeah. Okay, let me take
Hey, but
another.
save a bit of the film, and we'll take some in.
Oh no, Rob!
Yeah,
People
take a
don't do
selfie.
selfies in the
You
Polaroid
don't do
camera.
you don't do selfie with it. It's
No.
not Polaroid, Chappelle.
Oh,
I got to get
sorry.
this developed.
We're
I got
not
to take this. I got to take this to Walgreens. Like,
Yeah, I
can
was
you
gonna say, where do
develop
you
my
get-
Deal or No Deal camera?
Where do you get film developed these
Like, why is
days?
it covered in baby oil? Don't ask.
Don't ask.
Listen,
Don't ask.
it was a deal or no deal situation.
And
Yeah.
it would not be the first time they got a baby oil covered camera. I assure
Yeah.
you.
Mhm. Yeah.
They're like, oh,
Okay.
these are gonna be good.
Gandhi.
We love
Gandhi.
Gandhi. Woo!
Okay.
Great
5-star
start.
reviews
This
with
is like a
Gandhi in the
lifetime
comments.
supply of baby oil for me.
What
Oh,
are you? So SPF 30 baby oil.
Yeah.
That's
By the way,
just
Had
what
multiple
for?
babies. Never once used needed baby oil for a baby.
Rob,
I don't think
I must
it's
say I
for
have no
babies
babies, and
anymore.
I've gone through bottles and bottles of baby oil, gallons. No kids to show
yeah.
for it.
that we know of.
Yeah.
And we
Dundee.
Gandhi.
Okay. All right, well, we're having so much fun.
Yeah, this is
Great
great.
time.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
had a great time.
So get ready for Chappelle to bring you the interview with Branson. Then next week we'll come back together to talk about Dundee week 2. In the meantime, Chappelle's got a brand new podcast all on his own called Recap Kickback. Chappelle, what are you working on?
Everything. Recap Kickback is it's so much fun. I'm having a blast talking about the podcast to anybody who will listen, but also talking about everything that I want to talk about on the podcast. It's Black History Month. Mari and I have been counting down the top 5 Black movies of every genre, and now we're doing sitcoms this week with our special guest Jason Reed. So you can check that out on our YouTube page. But I'm also talking about television shows. Pooya and I have been talking about Mr. and Mrs. Smith. G and I are talking about Abbott Elementary. You and we dropped our Enneagram podcast that you and I did from when I was a wee lad in these podcasting streets. It's all there on recapkickback.com. So people can go there, subscribe to the podcast wherever they get their podcast. Follow Recap Kickback on social media at Recap Kickback, wherever you get your social media. And of course, follow the YouTube page. Hit that like button, subscribe, and you can get more of my shenanigans over on recapkickback.com.
Okay. Check it out, everybody. Recapkickback.com. If not, what's your problem, right?
Right. What's wrong with you?
Well, it's a little weird
kickback?
that you're not subscribing.
Yeah.
Right. At this point, it sounds like a personal attack. It sounds like you don't respect me, and it shows. Listen, if I got to start sweetening the pot with some baby oil, I got some extra, and I will start sending it to you. Subscribe and put Dundee in your 5-star reviews, and I'll know where you came from.
Appreciate it. We appreciate it. Okay. And Jenny, what else is going on for you?
Honestly, just vibing. This has been such a joy. I'm really, really excited that I get to podcast about Dondi with the two of you. As long as you'll stick, as long as Rob can hang
not
in
even
there.
on me.
Not you. I know it's on Boston Rob, so we have to blame him if this all goes
I mean,
awry.
you might not even have to blame him and blame the other people.
Listen, maybe I will not even have to. Maybe he moved recently. Maybe he was like, I just made a lot of money.
I think
because
because Ethan moved too close to him.
Oh, that's
Also,
sad.
he had to move away from him.
Yeah. You should want to live near Ethan's on, okay? But yeah, other than that, I'm just having a good time. And you can follow me on social media at Jenny Autumn, and we will keep this hit or quit ship or yacht afloat. And I'm just really excited about this season ahead for us here.
Look, Chappelle's our yacht guy. Below Deck,
Yeah.
Deal or No Deal Island, covered all the yacht shows. He's a yachty.
Hot dummies on yachties. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. And then Survivor's been on Yatis for a little bit, but it's back Wednesday night. We got the Survivor draft on a Monday night, and then we'll be back to talk about the 2-hour premiere of Survivor 46. So get ready for all of our Survivor coverage coming at you. Make sure you subscribe to all of our podcast feeds. robhasawebsite.com/subscribe. Thank you for joining us for Deal or No Deal Island week 1. Take care, everybody. Have a good one. Bye.